Glad to have you back. You're watching News Night. Now, the question is the crisis within Nigeria's major opposition, People's Democratic Party, near resolution after they just concluded 100th NEC meeting?
A valid question. We are now being joined by Okey Osuoha, as promised. He's the Deputy National Legal Advisor of the People's Democratic Party. Thank you so much for joining us on the news tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, we've been hearing from the BOT in the person of, represented by Chief Olabode George tonight on the news, and he says the crisis is basically resolved. It was a compromise that was reached, but I have to ask you, clarity is important. Okay. As of today, your party is recognizing Senator Samuel Anyanwu as your national secretary. What is the constitutional basis for Anyanwu's reinstatement? I ask because all these months of back and forth and public disagreements, your party members were quoting the party's constitution and procedures on why Okey should be the man for the job. We also heard from the Enugu caucus of your party threatening to leave the PDP should Okey not be recognized. And we hear today that the Enugu state governor was not at the meeting. We do not know why he was not there, but he was not there. So tell us, as the legal person of your party, is this the end of the legal tussle? And how did you arrive at Senator Samuel Anyanwu?
Thank you so much. In the first instance, I have to start by commending all our political leaders, all the actors, the Governors Forum, ably led by the Governor of Bauchi State, Senator Bala Mohammed. Equally, I commend the BOT chairman and all the members of BOT. And the NWC, what happened today was, it was just a win-win deal. It was not actually, there was no victor, no vanquish. But in the legal perspective, like you have asked me, this matter emanated when there was a disagreement between, there was a communique that was reached in Enugu, the southeast, thereabout, and then it was brought to the NWC. NWC refused to implement it because it was not in tandem with the constitution of our party. So, and based on that, a matter was taken to the Enugu State High Court, the court of first instance. Then after the judgment, he went to appeal court. And appeal court gave equally a judgment. There were 3 justices in that, the day of judgment. 2 justices gave judgment in favor, but 1 dissented. And then, actually, the national secretary of the party, Senator Anyanwu, went to Supreme Court, which is the highest court of the land. And when he approached the Supreme Court, in the judgment of the Supreme Court, it was unambiguous. It was clear when the Supreme Court stated that it nullified that judgment of the State High Court, nullified that of appeal court, and then stated that the appellant, who was the appellant, is Senator Anyanwu, that the appellant, all the reliefs sought in that matter that were meritorious, and they have granted those reliefs. What does it imply? It means that Anyanwu still remains the national secretary. But you know, in human beings, there were always conflicts based on interest. That's why I say today is a wonderful day, because everybody in my party, people were looking forward, what will happen, what will happen. But I was in that NEC meeting today, the 100th NEC meeting, and all the whole leaders, everybody was told that we must shade our sword and also sacrifice. It's all about sacrifice, that the party must move forward. Because whatever happens, the Southeast they have their demand. And at the end of the day, but there was the party went and consulted. There was a consultative meeting with the INEC. INEC is the supervisory body and the regulatory body that regulates all the whole political parties. And INEC gave an advice and asked the party to go and consult extensively with our stakeholders. And what was that? That they are abiding by the Supreme Court judgment. And then that Anyanwu will still that substantive national secretary. And if we can, we will never deviate because there are legal consequences. If we deviate, there's legal consequences. Right. That's why the stakeholders met and agreed in unison that we must move forward. And everybody now resolved that Anyanwu should resume as a national secretary.
So it had to take the intervention of INEC for the PDP to actually sit down and tell itself the truth if it really wanted to move forward, in spite of the fact that the Supreme Court had ruled that it is a party affair. The political party should decide who their...
That is, that's what I have to say in this forum now. for moving forward.
Right.
Every member member of the party, if you go to section 2 of our constitution, it provided that subject to the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that every member of this party and its organs must be bounded by the Constitution. And also, Nigeria is a democratic society. People have to now apply the rule of law. There should not be impunities, or people should not be ruled by the whims and caprices of individuals. So our party will move forward. What we are saying is not that INEC advise us. People know that the provisions of the, but the only thing that interest in human management, there's always interest. Like today, people have to share their interest for the, so that the superior, the interest of the collective interest of the party will be superior.
Understood. But what do you make of the same question that I asked Chief Bode George?
Okay.
It still looks like there are factions within the PDP. We're hearing, yes, on Okey faction. There is the Makinde, governor of Oyo State faction. There's the Arapaja's faction that actually held its own neck today.
No, the issues have been settled. I've told you. There's no factions for now. As far as I was in the neck meeting.
What this settlement is.
That settlement is that Anyanwu is the national secretary. And they were even directed today, both Anyanwu, the national secretary, and the acting national chairman, that they issue statutory notices to the INEC concerning our next neck meeting, which is billed or proposed to take place very soon.
Right.
So after the next neck meeting, then we will now talk about the next convention. These are ways we're moving forward. And that's why I said today all the parties have agreed. The dispute has been settled. And we now move forward.
Okoye?
Yes, Udokoye was in the meeting.
Okay.
Are you hearing me? Udokoye was in the meeting.
Okay.
Even all the whole members of NWC were in the same meeting. Acting chairman was there. BOT was there. The National Assembly caucus, represented by Senator Abomoro, was there. The House of Rep caucus, represented by Honorable Chinda, was there. So it was just a unanimous decision.
Okay.
We have agreed to move forward.
All right.
No going back. And it's a very welcome development, even in Nigerians. Today I was happy because, let me tell you, every Nigerian looks up to PDP as the bastion of democracy.
You speak for every Nigerian.
I know, even you, because everybody, you can recall now when we were in power. You see how we were able to Nigerian.
Mr.
Okay.
Okey, sorry, I can't speak for
We have
me
to
and
say
every
thank you very
Nigerian,
much.
but we are glad that you have finally settled the crisis in your party. After all, we want a vibrant democracy with competition.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you so much.
Okey Osuoha is the
Thank you so
Deputy
much.
National Legal Advisor,
Thank
PDP.
you.
Thank you very much for joining us on Newsnight.